Does the phrase pull the chain have some sort of significance in jails and prisons? My question comes apropos a comment on an old questions of Reg White's jail versus prison. After many answers established that there was indeed a difference in usage between the two terms, John said, I would argue that the difference isn't archaic. Let's just say I've known a few people who have been to both jail and prison, and the people in them definitely know the difference. See, pull the chain. Alas, the comments didn't go past that, and I didn't find any other questions on LNU addressing what pull the chain means with regard to jails and prisons. What does it mean?
If someone is pulling your chain, yanking your chain, the image is of a dog or other animal on a chain and the owner maliciously and deliberately enraging the animal by jerking the chain. Jerk you around has the same origin. Utterly separate, and now thoroughly obsolete. Many years ago, toilet cisterns, the tanks, were mounted high up on the ceiling, and so to flush them, instead of pressing a button or twisting a lever, you'd pull a chain. Pulling the chain became an expression meaning getting rid of something, as if by flushing down the toilet. To get a sense of how old this expression is, in The Godfather, set in 1946, Clemenza says that a restaurant has those old-fashioned toilets with the high-mounted cisterns, and he will hide the gun behind one of them.
To pull the chain, alternatively catch the chain, in the jargon of inmates is when you get transferred from one place to another, usually on a prison bus, sometimes referred to as a chain, or Bluebird Express, in Texas. The context I've heard it used most is when someone gets transferred from a temporary holding place, jail, to where they will do their real time, prison. I get the feeling it has a negative connotation of being forced to go somewhere against one's will, and I don't think they use it when they get on the prison bus when they are being transferred for release. I am not certain of the origin, but from what I've heard and read, it seems to come from the notion of a chain gang. Specifically, when a guard wanted to move a bunch of inmates on a chain gang, he would pull the chain they were attached to. Another possible, and less nostalgic, explanation is related to the fact that inmates are chained together when they are being transported on the bus. The metaphor may be slightly different when you are being transferred from jail to prison. At least from the person I heard it from who was going through that process. It seemed more to me like he was likening the transfer to being flushed down a toilet, specifically referring to the old-fashioned ones with a raised tank and flush chain. However, it is possible he just didn't know about the other origin and was assuming incorrectly. Here are a couple of sources online for prison slang. Prisoner's Dictionary, this is the best one. The Correctional Officer's Guide to Prison Slang. Texas Prison Slang Forum posting. Thanks to my true crime-obsessed wife, I also can recommend the following book, which is more exhaustive and frankly fascinating. Prisonese, A Survivor's Guide to Speaking Prison Slang. You can probably get direct answers from people over at prisontalk.com if you have specific questions. It is a support forum for incarcerated people, their families, and friends to help them cope with the experience. Another of my favorites is a euphemism for getting charged with another crime when already in prison jail. They call that catching a case. I like it because it so vividly demonstrates the mindset of persecution and lack of responsibility that is prevalent among criminals. That is, they get charged with a crime the same way people catch a disease, by being in the wrong place at the wrong time and not because of anything they may have done. Disclaimer. This is all second-hand knowledge. I've never been to prison or jail personally. I just know a couple of people who have, or have family members currently in prison. Also, prison slang seems to have regional dialects to some degree. So there might be slightly different terms or connotations in a Texas prison and an Illinois prison.
When the inmates here refer to pull chain, it means they will transfer to the state prison system. They've been to court and have been sentenced. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing because most are ready to start their time and get it finished.
The answer has nothing to do with prison or jail. To pull one's chain refers to a surveyor's measurement. If you pull the chain then present a reading which is incorrect, you would be misleading someone. Which is why when you get told a story you don't believe, you might ask, are you pulling my chain? In surveyor terms, 1 chain equals 100 links equals 4 rods equals 22 yards equals 66 feet for you horse racing fans, 10 chains equals 1 furlong equals 1/8 mile. For you with nothing better to do, 1 appent equals 2.9127 chains, and I ain't pulling your chain. The chain was an important part of us history. The Mason-Dixon line was measured using chains. Here is a link to a great article. This URL. Mt. Everest and was also measured out in chains.
you want to support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing.